Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But first, a brief message for Race to the Top, the President's Commencement Challenge.
We were talking to folks, letting them know they can watch videos of the finalists and rate them at whitehouse.gov/commencement, and that will help determine where the president actually speaks at commencement, right? And when's the voting coming up? It's April 26th to 29th.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
All right. This week, April 16th to the 22nd, or Competing the Old-Fashioned Way. On Friday, April 16th, President Obama headed over to the Department of the Interior to take part in America's Great Outdoors Conference.
Theodore Roosevelt, avid bird watcher, bear hunter, set out on a tour of the American West that would change his life and the life of a nation forever.
But the president was quick to draw a distinction between himself and his rough-riding predecessor.
I will probably never shoot a bear.
Later that afternoon, the President's Economic Recovery Advisory Board met in the Roosevelt Room to discuss a range of economic issues, including job creation and the President's proposal to double the number of exports over the next 5 years.
I jumped a little bit when you said going to double the exports in 5 years. I figured out what the compound annual growth rate there means. I said, my God, what's the guy want from us?
On Monday, April 19th, President Obama took time to meet with his special envoy to the Sudan to learn about the situation on the ground following last week's election.
Scott Gratian.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, brother?
Proud to serve.
Good to see you. You don't look any worse for wear.
Later that day, Vice President Biden joined Robert Gibbs in the press briefing room for an important announcement about Iraq.
Iraqi security forces, with the support of U.S. forces, killed the two most senior leaders of al-Qaeda Iraq.
He went on to add,
Their deaths are potentially devastating blows to al-Qaeda Iraq. But equally important, in my view, is this action demonstrates the improved security strength and capacity of Iraqi security forces.
On a rainy Wednesday, April 21st, President Obama met with bipartisan members of the Senate at the White House.
They had 90,000 at Tuscaloosa. No.
I think it was 7 at Auburn.
Yeah, it's a good crowd.
Same day.
We just need a quarterback now.
They were there to discuss the Supreme Court vacancy left by the retirement of Justice Stevens.
As Justice Stevens said, I think it's very important, particularly given the important cases that may be coming before the Supreme Court, that we get this process wrapped up.
Meanwhile, in Northeast Washington, D.C., at the D.C. River Terrace School, First Lady Michelle Obama was joined by several Olympians and Paralympians to highlight her Let's Move initiative.
And I'm also really excited to introduce you to First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama.
And Shawnee, Shawnee didn't grow up in a neighborhood where anybody talked about speed skating, because we're both South Side Chicago, right, Shawnee? South Side. But we didn't grow up with speed skating. How do you even know about speed skating? We had ice, but we didn't have speed skating.
And on Thursday, April 22nd, the president traveled to New York City, where he delivered a speech at Cooper Union on Wall Street reform.
It is wonderful to be back in Cooper Union.
You may remember Cooper Union not only as the site of President Lincoln's famous address, but also the location where President Obama, some 2 years ago, advocated strict reforms to our financial system.
With a dedicated agency setting ground rules and looking out for ordinary people in our financial system, we will empower consumers with clear and concise information when they're making financial decisions. So instead of competing to offer confusing products, companies will compete the old-fashioned way by offering better products.
And in the afternoon, President Obama hosted a reception in the Rose Garden, marking the 40th anniversary of Earth Day.
Today we celebrate 40 years of Earth Day. Now, obviously, Earth's been around longer than that, but we have been celebrating Earth Day for 40 years, which was a bright moment in our nation's history and a milestone in the ongoing fight to protect our environment.
To find out more information on any of these topics or to see complete videos of these events, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
I thought that it'd be nice to kick it off hearing from Dorothy Height. Having known all the great heroes and being one yourself of the civil rights movement, how do you think we were the beneficiaries of all that work should be thinking about that period, and are there some reflections, Dorothy, that you want to share with us?
First, I want to thank you for this opportunity for us to come together, because I think we should never forget what the struggle has been. And we should also recognize the progress that we've made. And of course, you're part of that great progress, and we're very proud of it. It means a great deal to us.